Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the fourth episode of the Weeb Couch Podcast, where we talk about anime, manga, comics, games, you name it. I'm Mason, and joining me as always...
No one.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So, we got a good episode today. I'm pretty excited for this episode. As always, we'll just start straight off with our anime section, and I'm gonna come right in with an anime that I've been recently watching. I've literally finished it before we started recording. Called Erased. Pretty famous anime. I would argue the manga's a bit more famous. It's very character driven, emotional story. It's sort of a mystery anime which revolves around our classic otaku protagonist, weeb, stays inside all day, has a part-time job, you know the drill. But this guy has a power, an unwilling power, that whenever something bad happens near him, like around him, he gets sent back before that happens, so he gets sent back in time so he can prevent it. And he calls this phenomenon revival, and he's sort of just, he's had it all his life, and he's sort of gotten used to it now. He's like in his 20s, and he never usually gets sent back more than like 5 or 10 minutes, like just after this bad thing has happened. So he's pretty comfortable with it at this point. He doesn't really care. But after a series of events, which I won't completely spoil, I'll spoil the first episode for you. After a series of events that leads to his mother's death,
Yikes.
yeah, he gets sent back to when he was a child, and he gets put in his child's body. And it turns out that he has to solve a murder of one of his classmates when he was a child, because this same murderer has now killed his mother. So if he can stop the murderer back in the past, before he kills his classmate, then he can change the future. And it's a pretty simple murder mystery from then on. All of the child actors are actually really good. I watched this in subbed, and usually, to me at least, I really hate Japanese kids' voices. They are so screechy and awful. But I like the voice cast in this. There's no one super famous that you might know. But the adults actually are all voice cast very well as well. And you know who the killer is. Like, as soon as you see the character that the killer is, you'll probably know. It's not really... I mean, I guess it is kept a secret. But it's pretty obvious. But that's not really what you're there for at the end of the day. It's sort of, you come for the mystery, you stay for the character building. And, it's really cute. So Kaio, who is the classmate that's going to be murdered... turns out that I won't spoil anything. There's a lot of stuff going on with her in her life for, like, a 10-year-old. A lot of stuff going on, and her relationship with our main character, as it grows, and they sort of help each other to get better, it's actually really, really wholesome, and I really like it. And, a lot of people will probably be like, oh, but he's like a 20-year-old man in this kid's body, so that's just weird. But it's stated many times that he never has any, like, actual feelings for her. He just wants to help her and, help her get out of the situation, which she doesn't even know she's in. Because obviously she doesn't know she's going to get murdered. Yeah, it's very solid. All the dialogue is great. There's a lot of cool, because when they're kids, it's set in the 80s. A lot of cool 80s anime references, which I actually got most of, because I like old anime. So if you're a fan of the more story-focused sides, there's no fight scenes, there's no, massive battles or anything like that. Give it Erased a watch. It's on Crunchyroll. It's made by A1 Pictures, and in case you don't know, A1 are sort of the Disney of anime. They have every studio ever. So, and they
Bad
usually...
or,
Go on.
bad or good?
Usually bad. They put out a lot of trash, A1.
Okay.
They make Sword Art Online.
Ah.
Enough said, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, their animation style is very basic, very sort of formulaic things. It's nothing groundbreaking, like, you know, I'm sure everyone, a lot of people have strong feelings about My Hero Academia, but I gotta say, the art style, I do like it. It's very well drawn. A1 is sort of more consistent with their art style across all of their shows, so I know a lot of people watch Sword Art Online for some reason.
Sorry.
Trash. Art style looks like that, sort of very basic. I would say bland, but you know, it's not about... They're not, in Erased, they're not doing anything with the art style, because it's a very sort of grounded story. So the art style doesn't need to be all unique and flashy and stuff like that. And I like it, because, you know, the effort has been put into the story, and the characters, and the dialogue, rather than the animation. You know? My Hero Academia, all of the effort is definitely on the animation, with nothing else. Yeah, and A1 have surprised me this time, because Erased is very good, and I really, really enjoyed it. It's only 12 episodes long, like most A1 shows, and a lot of people... a lot of people are saying... a lot of people want a sequel to this, actually, and I wouldn't really know how that would work, because it does wrap things up very neatly at the end.
Maybe just do like another big thing that he has to do something. You know, yeah. maybe he goes to the future this time.
Yeah, whoa. I would think that would be bad, to be honest with you.
Yep.
But you know, it could happen. It's A1. Erased was pretty profitable, I think, but it was like from 2010, so I doubt there's gonna be a sequel now.
It's not gonna happen now.
Yeah, there was a live action film, which was surprisingly okay, I believe, from looking at reviews. I haven't seen it, but I might watch it. Apparently it's, you know, slightly above average, which, you know, is absolutely amazing for a live action anime film. The JoJo live action film is the only good one ever. That is not my opinion, that is fact. And yeah, there's really not much to say about it, because it is such a story focused show, and I don't want to spoil any of the story. But you know, all the characters are solid. You know, there's the nerd kid, the edgy kid, the you know, the boisterous, you know, overly happy kid. You know, they're all stereotypes, but they're all thoroughly developed in their own way. And if you want a cool little wholesome romance, check it out. There's a romance. There is an actual romance between our main character's present day adult self and his love interest in that timeline. Because there are parts in the show where he sort of switches. He like goes back into his present body and then back into his child body. So you know, there's an actual romance, and then there's just this cute, wholesome little friendship between the two kids. And yeah, it's really good. It's really good. Erased, I gotta give it an 8. I would give it a 9, but the killer is really obvious.
Yeah.
Okay. Give it a watch.
I have one question.
Go on.
You know me for a stickler for time and how things work.
Yeah.
Obviously, since this is an anime that finished, he obviously finds out the killer and stops him.
Yeah.
Does it end how I would want it to end, is what I'm asking. Yeah. Does he cease to exist?
No.
What was that?
Wait, what do you mean, who ceased to exist?
The guy went back in time.
Oh, you mean like the Trunks paradox from Dragon Ball?
It's not just the Trunks paradox, it's just a paradox. If you change the timeline, that version of you should cease to exist.
But no, it doesn't. Because
that would probably annoy me then.
Yeah. No, yeah, he remembers going back and changing it, if that's what you mean.
So, in the end, well, no,
like, he changes it so that his classmate doesn't die, Kaio doesn't die, obviously, and he stops the killer. But he remembers doing all that, even though technically... but no, I mean, he remembers the timeline where Kaio is killed.
So he goes...
Technically, that didn't happen.
So he's into a different timeline then?
Yeah.
Okay, then okay, I can forgive it then. Because if he's sent to a timeline, then that makes sense.
Yeah.
But not like it's the same one.
Yeah, it's sort of like it's like Back to the Future, isn't it? You know, when they change the future and then it sort of splits into two different timelines.
Yeah.
And he can see both of them. He can remember both of them.
Okay, then that's fine then, because that makes sense.
Yeah. It's not isekai. I know it shares a lot of traits with an isekai, but he does get hit by a truck at the beginning. But
oh god, Truck-san strikes again.
Truck-san strikes again, yeah. But no, it's not an isekai. Thank God. A1 also make a lot of isekai, which I hate.
I mean, yeah.
Sword Art Online being the original isekai.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's all I've got for Erased. Very good. Give it a watch.
Right.
Read the manga if you want, because apparently it is better. I haven't read it. I do plan to, though.
Nice. Well, I guess I'll start with mine. It's one that I don't think anybody has ever heard before.
Yeah, I certainly didn't hear of it until you told me about it.
It's called Haven't You Heard? I'm Sakamoto. And the story is centered around this incredibly cool and popular and kind of formal guy called Sakamoto. Sort of similar to the girl from Komi Can't Communicate, if you remember from a few episodes ago. But this time, it isn't a facade. He is literally that cool.
Yeah, he is. He is the epitome of cool.
He's flawless, and he's well-liked by pretty much every student in the high school. Guys want to be him, girls want to be with him. Yeah. He is perfection. And despite the strange situations he may be in, which normally consist of pranks set by some of the envious male population of the school, like the popular guys, like the bullies, he always manages to emerge in absolute perfection, and as a result, make himself look even cooler.
Does he do it on purpose though, or is it like accidental?
He does it, and it looks that cool, but he just doesn't even mean for it to be cool. He's just that. God. He's that cool. Like he went to the toilet and closed the door, and some of the boys threw a bucket of water over the top of the door, and then he's like, have fun getting wet, and then they ran out, and then it cuts the shot inside the stall, and it's just him fully clothed sitting on the toilet with an umbrella in his hand, because he already knew that was going to happen.
Oh my god. And
then he's like, oh, I guess there was a slight chance of rain, and it's like, oh my god, are you fucking kidding me? He's so cool. And obviously stuff happens that make the cool guys stop being mean to him. You know, things get better. Love interest happens. You know, she tries to get more close to him. It's really just once again, oh, who would have thought, another slice of life anime. My favorite. And it's really wholesome, fun, and it's really funny because some of the scenes, one scene in which he sword fights a wasp.
That is literally the only scene I have seen from the anime, and I love it. I instantly love it.
Yes. He sword fights a wasp with a pin.
Mm-hmm.
It's hilarious.
It's like, you know, that scene from the B movie? It's like that, but far better.
Yes, exactly that. Exactly that. But it's done really well because it's done like an anime fight scene.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Because the bee is like, oh, I've got you now. It's great. It's honestly, and other than that, there's literally nothing else to say about it. It's super short. Like, I think pretty sure it's 12 episodes, along with same as yours.
Yeah.
It's just a fun little thing you should definitely watch. It's just funny, slice of life. Voice acting is hilarious. Animation is pretty good as well, actually. It's kind of similar to the usual anime style, but he is done very well in like you can see him being perfect. Like, he has the kind of mannerisms and
Yeah.
appearance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. One of like the first scenes you see is the bullies pulling a prank on him by putting a whiteboard rubber or like a chalkboard rubber in between the sliding door. So then when he opens it, it'll land on his head. But then as he opens the door, he catches it with one hand without even looking.
Oh my god.
And then, like, sparkles come out of him, and the girls scream. The guys like cheer for him, and the boys like, dumbass. It's hilarious.
So is there any overarching plot, or is it just like
It's pretty much like he is just making bullies not bullies anymore because by like how much he annoys them in being perfect.
That's amazing.
And also there's this one guy near the end who like challenges him, and they end up in a fight, but it's not a fight. It's like one of those games where you like stand on your toes and you like push each other, and whoever the first to fall backwards loses, and that's it. That's the big fight. Because they're not. It's like if they're in a high school, they're not going to kill each other.
Yeah.
Oh, and another one is the teacher. Most of the anime is the teacher trying to catch him out and trying to finally tell him off.
Huh.
Because he can never do it. But then he finally does, and then he's really happy. But then he tells him to go outside, like stand outside for like a punishment. And then he goes out to see what he's doing, and he's feeding a bird. And then the teacher just starts crying.
Oh my god!
It's so wholesome, and he's like, "Oh my god, what have I done?" And then he just class dismissed and runs away.
Oh,
So amazing. But yeah, I give it like a solid 7 or 8 out of 10. It is so funny.
Any possibility of a season 2 though?
I don't actually know. Genuinely don't know.
I feel like
it came out. Yeah. It came out in 2000, ended in 2016, so probably not.
Probably not. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's
it's a seasonal anime as well because it came out.
Well, yeah, no season 2 then. Probably exactly. Not for a seasonal. Whoa! Yeah. You're giving a seasonal anime that high of a rating?
It's fun.
Wow, good. Yeah, no, that's pleasantly surprising. Yeah, seasonal anime are usually trash.
Well, some.
Yeah.
Well, not most, but there are some.
No, that's good to hear that you found a good one then. I like that.
Yeah, it was good. I think that's it really. For it. It's just short, but it's funny.
Yeah.
Definitely give it a watch if you want a bit of a laugh.
Yeah, I doubt that'll be on Netflix because it's so.
Oh no, I'm pretty sure it isn't.
So it'll be on Crunchyroll.
Definitely watch it on very legal sites, which I did.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, if we can move on to the manga section then.
Yeah.
My manga is extremely well known.
No.
Extremely well known, but not extremely well liked by some. I will say that. It's liked by me. That's why I'm talking about it. My manga is Dragon Ball Super, not Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball
Come on,
Super.
boo it up.
Yeah, come on, get your booing out of the way because I'll be praising the manga in this bit. Okay. Now.
Not yet.
I think it's the Dragon Ball Super anime that gets the most hate. I think.
Yes, I don't like how it looks.
Yeah, no one does. I don't like it either. But you got to remember the budget. Dragon Ball Z is the same. It doesn't look great, but
yeah. And plus, I compare it to the Broly movie, so
which we will definitely talk about at some point.
Oh yeah, we should.
One of the best anime movies ever made.
Anyway, off topic. Yes. Continue.
Super manga focuses on the adventures of Goku and friends. I think it's 10 years after the Buu saga, which is the final official saga in Z. So everyone's a little bit older. Gohan's an adult now. Krillin has a daughter. Goku is the same. You know how it is. And I really like this because where Z, so Dragon Ball, the original, was sort of based around discovering the wonders of our world and, where the journey goes. It was very, journey-orientated anime. Dragon Ball Z opens it up to, different planets and different races. You discover that Piccolo is not, in fact, a demon. He's an alien from an alien planet, and then you've got Frieza, and basically all of the characters, all of the villains in Z are aliens, apart from Cell, who's an android, and
But you have you have an alien. You have a demon proven wrong of being an alien, but then you just have an actual Satan as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's not surprised that they thought there were demons.
Are you talking about King Yemma?
Yeah.
yeah, just a massive Satan.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it opens up Otherworld, which is essentially heaven, and then hell, which is just hell.
Yeah.
And then Super expands it more. It's like, where can we go from here? It's like, oh, multiverse. So Super sort of opens up a lot of possibilities, I think. It introduces 2 new characters from the very first bit, which is Beerus and Whis.
Raditz again. He's back for revenge.
I wish Raditz was in Super. I wish Raditz was in anything.
Just give me Raditz.
Yeah.
I love Raditz.
I know you love Raditz. I don't.
Dragon Ball Fighters.
Yeah, I imagine.
I want it to.
Anyway, so Beerus is a god of destruction, and it's revealed that Beerus is one of, I think it's 12 or 13 gods of destruction, each one for a different universe. And that's sort of the first idea we get about a multiverse. It's sort of left there for the first bit of the manga. You sort of don't really talk about it because the first arc is the Beerus arc, where Goku fights Beerus.
Failed, obviously.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. Beerus wants to know about a Super Saiyan God. Goku doesn't know. They fight because Goku's like, wow, you're really strong, I want to fight you. Beerus absolutely blasts him. Then Goku unlocks Super Saiyan God, which turns out to be a transformation. My personal favourite Dragon Ball transformation.
Red.
Very cool. I love it. He goes really thin because, gods have eternal youth, and he looks really cool. They fight. Goku still loses, but, it's an actual fight this time. Turns out Beerus was using 40% of his power that time.
Actually,
yeah.
They only say 40% in the sub, which could have been mistranslation.
Maybe.
So it may not have even used that much.
It may be. That's just how powerful Beerus is.
Yeah, because I just thought I'd say that because I remember hearing that somewhere that the 40% part may have just been a mistranslation.
Yeah, he
because
could have been using even less.
Yeah, exactly.
And he still beat Goku.
Yeah, no matter what. And he doesn't train. He doesn't even train.
He doesn't train because he's
he
too
was
lazy.
Born with that.
Yeah.
He was just born with that power.
Yeah, I love Beerus. I think Beerus is a great new addition. He's an addition I think that will stay with the show no matter where it goes in the future. Sort of like Frieza did in Z. Frieza was introduced at the beginning of Z. Same with Vegeta, introduced at the beginning of Z, and is now a main character.
It's like during it's like literally during the entire Broly movie, he is just there, looking after Bulma's kid.
Yeah.
Because he just can't be bothered intervening, and he's like, oh, thank God they did it. I would have had to intervene otherwise. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like an overarching thing because he's that powerful, and I dig that.
Yeah, he's just a force sort of thing. Yeah. And I don't want to talk too much about the first bit of the manga because the anime, a lot of people have seen the anime, so a lot of people have probably know what I'm talking about already. So you've got Arc 1, which is the Beerus arc. And then when Goku beats Beerus, he becomes like an ally. Well, not an ally, because a god of destruction isn't allowed to take sides. But Beerus just sort of hangs around for the rest of the show. Very cool character. So is Whis. Whis is an angel, and he's sort of Beerus's butler, his sort of attendant. He keeps him in control and stuff. Whis is hundreds of times more powerful than Beerus. But it's never shown, because like gods of destruction, angels aren't allowed to take sides. And angels aren't even allowed to fight because they're just too powerful.
However,
what?
In the Moro arc.
We'll get to the Moro arc. We'll get to Merus. We'll get to all that. Don't worry. That's what I mainly want to focus on. I'm just giving a quick rundown of the rest of the manga.
Yeah.
And then after that we have the Golden Frieza arc. So for anyone who somehow doesn't know, Frieza is the main villain of Dragon Ball Z. Goku kills him, and he comes back in Super. He gets resurrected,
Resurrection F.
The movie is called Resurrection F, and I remember when it was coming out, it was billed as so mysterious. It's like, what is this movie going to be about? It's Resurrection F. Like, what are the Dragon Ball characters?
On the thing.
Yeah, it has Frieza. Yeah, they released the poster, and it's like it's got Frieza on it, but they still tried to act all mysterious about it. It's like, who's getting brought back? It's like, bro, it's on the movie poster. So yeah, Golden Frieza. Turns out that Frieza has trained. He never used to train. He trained for like 3 or 4 months, and he unlocked a new transformation. So yeah, just train more, Frieza, because I actually really like Frieza, and I think he's done a little bit dirty in Super, because he's only sort of there to get beaten. I don't think he ever wins a fight in Super, which is sort of weird considering he was like this massive big villain in Z, who absolutely trounces Vegeta in like his first form. He absolutely destroys Vegeta. He destroys Goku until Goku goes Super Saiyan 1.
Oh yeah, I forget. Frieza's what brought about Super Saiyans.
Yeah, because he which is great. I love that, because Frieza's one fear is the Super Saiyan.
Yeah, because it was foretold.
Yeah, just
Super Saiyan.
Don't blow up Krillin, I guess. Is the main takeaway from that.
It has happened like 20 million times already, so Sensu Bean.
So yeah, Goku beats Golden Frieza. Goku unlocks Super Saiyan Blue, which is my least favorite Dragon Ball transformation. It's just Super Saiyan God, but more powerful, and it's blue, and it's really bad.
Dabba die.
And it's Dabba Dabba die. It's rubbish. I hate it.
Dabba it makes you want to die.
And I think that was where a lot of people fell off the Super series with Super Saiyan Blue, because Super Saiyan God sort of seemed like a different route to go down rather than just another Super Saiyan. But yeah, they just sort of went back on the beaten path. It's like it's Super Saiyan Blue. Like the name sounds terrible. So after that, we get our first actual look at multiverse with the Universe 6 tournament. So it's revealed that our universe, the universe that we've been following in Dragon Ball, is Universe 7 out of 12 or 13. And they fight against Universe 6. They fight against the most competent fighters in Universe 6 in a bid between Beerus and Champa. Champa is the destroyer god of Universe 6, and they're brothers. And Champa's great, and I love him. And the fights are really good. Contains my favourite fight of Super, in the manga anyway, which is Goku versus Hit. Hit is an assassin who can stop time. Very cool. I love him. Goku, I mainly like it because it's a really cool fight using Super Saiyan God, which is really underused in Super. In the anime, they change it, so he goes like Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken, which is still cool, but I do prefer Super Saiyan God. Really cool fight. Some cool characters as well. We get Kaba, who is a Saiyan from Universe 6, and he sort of bonds with Vegeta. Vegeta becomes like sort of a mentor to him. That tournament happens. Then we have the arc, which is probably the biggest point of contention between the anime and manga fans, which is the Future Trunks arc, or / the Zamasu arc. The anime version of this is absolute trash, but the
manga
version is really good.
Is it actually?
Yeah, it sort of plays out as like a more modern take on the Android saga from Z, you know, where Trunks comes back from the future and he's like, guys, the world's gonna end, I need your help. But instead of Trunks staying in the past to sort of prevent this from happening, he takes Goku and Vegeta to the future where this has already happened to defeat Goku Black. Goku Black is an evil Kai, and a Kai is basically a god. Evil Kai called Zamasu stole Goku's body, so he now has access to all of Goku's power, along with his Kai power. And he's become Goku Black, so an evil version of Goku. We got some funny voice, we got some funny lines in the dub, we all know about the "this man's not black" line, stuff like that. But in the manga, it's really cool. Goku Black is a really intimidating presence. He's super evil, in a way that hasn't been seen since like Z Frieza, I would say. He's just evil incarnate, pure evil, and I love it. It's been a while since we've had a Dragon Ball villain that hasn't tried to justify their motives in some weird way. Goku Black's like, nah, I just want to kill all mortals because, and I like that. Then, and all this timeline gets messed up in the anime, but essentially Zamasu from Universe 10 merges with Goku Black, who is technically Zamasu from Universe 7, and becomes merged Zamasu, who is probably the most powerful Dragon Ball villain, at least the most powerful super villain. I feel like it's a contest between him and Kid Buu, if we're talking about Z as well. And Goku fights him. Goku beats him in the manga with Hakai, which is a technique used by the gods of destruction, which basically just disintegrates anything it touches. And it's stated that Goku is on that level now that he can use that technique, and it's really cool. But in the anime, Trunks just cuts him in half with the sword. But it's a spirit bomb sword. It makes no sense. It's trash. I hate that arc. In the anime, in the manga, it's very good. You should read it. Then we have Tournament of Power. Nothing to say about Tournament of Power whatsoever. I think it's pretty boring in both the anime and manga. You get Ultra Instinct, which is what a lot of people take away from Super. Ultra Instinct Goku. He fights Jiren, who is like this really intimidating, strong alien boy from Universe 11. Because the Tournament of Power is just a massive battle between all of the universes to determine which ones should survive and stuff. It's got reasoning behind it, but just think of the Naruto Chunin exams, but if it was a battle royale, if they were all fighting each other.
Dragon Ball Battle Royale.
So yeah, Goku gets the dub, Goku gets the victory royale, and he beats
off of Fortnite.
He beats Jiren. I really like how they do Jiren in the manga much more than they do in the anime, because they give him motivation, whereas in the anime he's just a wall. Goku Ultra Instinct, so much cooler in the manga. They mess it up in the anime. Jiren, actually, it's explained that no one can actually get close to Jiren in the manga because he has like an energy field around him that is just pure power. And if you're not strong enough, you literally can't even get close to him because you will just die. So you have to be a certain level of strength to just fight with him. And Goku beats him with the help of Frieza, just about. And again, they do it so much better in the manga than they do in the anime. Won't spoil it because it's an epic moment in both forms. I still like how they do it in the anime. Just in the manga, it's absolutely jaw dropping. And I think that is the arc that feels the most like Dragon Ball Z to me. It's just this massive big brawl because Super is more focused on story, which sounds good, but it doesn't work for Dragon Ball.
It's just a shonen, don't bother.
Exactly. Zamasu sort of had that. The fight in the manga between Goku Black and Goku is really good. But yeah, Tournament of Power, cool. You will read that arc very, very quickly because there's pretty much no dialogue. It's just page after page. A very, very well drawn, I might add, unlike the anime. Very, very well drawn fight. It's cool. And now I want to get to what I really want to talk about, which is the Moro arc, which is not the current arc. It has ended it has ended on the 20th of November with the chapter that came out, and the new arc is starting on the 20th of December. We have no idea what that's going to be about. I think
man has no break for himself.
Yep, I know.
Why?
Yep, it's a chapter a month. That's how it's going.
Jesus. Also, people definitely want timestamps for this episode. Jesus.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely. I'll put them in. You know, I break my back for this podcast. It takes me like an hour and a half to add the timestamps.
And it's going to take you an hour and a half to finish this Dragon Ball Super run.
Don't worry. Moro, Goat Man, eats planets. Very, very powerful. Goku, Ultra Instinct. Very, very powerful.
Big Chungus.
Big Chungus. Turns into a Gundam. Very, very cool. Big Goku mech suit. But it's not a mech. It's like his spirit energy. It's like It's like a Susanoo from Naruto. But it's Goku.
Yeah. It makes sense.
It makes sense.
Well.
Really cool arc. Very cool. It's got angels in it. Merus is an angel that does take a side and does fight, and it's amazing to see him fight because he's just so clearly on another level from any other character because he's an angel. Yes. Dragon Ball Super. Solid. I don't know. 6 to 7. 6 to 7.
I was gonna say, I think it's too long to be able to, like, there's so many different arcs.
Yeah. At its lowest,
Zamasu.
Zamazu's good in the manga. I would say Frieza is the lowest in the manga. That is like a 5 out of 10. But then you get the best, which is Universe 6 Tournament. That's a solid 8 to 9. So overall, I'm going to give it a 6. Read it if you have like a spare 5 years. It's very long at this point. I would recommend just jumping on. Just jump on at the Moro arc. Because, you know, then you can get a shape for where the series is going. The series is not slowing down. I don't think it'll be done for a while. And yeah, it's just more Dragon Ball. Who doesn't like that? Only retards don't like that.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm going to shut up now because it's already too long.
Yes. Okay. Moving on from something very different. Very, 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 very different. I read and reviewed yet again, let's hear it, another Monster Girl ecchi. Yes, hold your applause, I know.
But this is different. You actually knew it was an ecchi going into this.
Yes, because I've watched the anime, which is actually a lot more graphic.
With plus-sized elf, neither of us had any idea that it was going to be ecchi.
Nope, not a clue. Yeah. I genuinely walked in there surprised when I saw, you know. But with this, I knew what I was getting into. But the difference is, this is hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Interspecies Reviewers.
Yes, you may know it from the brief stint it spent at the top out of my anime list.
And it deserved that spot.
All the memers just upvoted it and gave it 10 out of 10, so it got to the top.
Yep.
But, you know, Full Metal Alchemist fans exist, so that wasn't very long.
It's still good, though.
Yeah, it is very good.
I'll tell you the premise. So, in a world where many different humanoid species exist, there exists many different kinds of brothels along with them.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is set in a fantasy world where they're pretty much just, you know, medieval kind of shit. No technology.
Yeah.
And they're run by Tsukyu girls, is their name. Okay.
I'm trying to keep it family friendly.
Yeah, and as each species has different opinions on how each Tsukyu girl works for them, various brothel visitors have become reviewers, rating their experiences with the various Tsukyu girls and posting them in a local tavern.
What a great idea for an anime.
Getting a large sum of money for it. And it largely centers on a human named Stunk, an elf named Zell, and an angel named Krimval. It is hilarious. Not just in the jokes that are around it or the references that they make, one being a Dragon Ball reference.
I laughed so hard. Yeah, the Piccolo reference.
Hilarious. They literally, a guy that looks like Piccolo, literally, the main character says, get out of here, Piccolo looking ass. It is hilarious. Other than that, the character, like, how they clash and connect, it is so personal and extremely goddamn funny because it feels like it is just two guys rating different brothels because they get in an argument about which is size, does size always matter?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I remember
they literally went on a huge rant about it, and obviously the human was like, yes, of course it does. Elf was like, no, it's not actually, because the elf is like a manlet. He's like 5 foot tall.
Think Meliodas.
Yes, exactly.
Sins, manlet.
And so the elf tricks Stunk into reviewing a fairy brothel, which, because of this, obviously, it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
So, in the end, he's like, okay, maybe I was wrong, size does matter. You know?
Yeah.
Because we couldn't do anything there.
Yeah.
Another one where it's like, literally the first time you see Stunk, he comes out of the elf brothel, and then Zell's like, what are you doing? That's disgusting. She's like 500 years old. She's older than my mum.
I was literally about to touch on this.
Yes, but then obviously because they're an elf, they have like super good youth. She looks like, you know, like a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
But then we hear like a yoo-hoo coming from the side, and it's this like 70-year-old human woman like meets up with the elf guy, and they're all flirty and stuff, and the human and fucking Stunk just has such a shocked look and looks so dead.
Do you think it's like illegal for elves? Because Zell is like 300 years old or something, right?
Yes, he is 300, I believe.
Yeah.
Or 200, either or. Yeah. I know, because it's just difference in what we perceive as old within the species, you know. But yeah, obviously both of them have different opinions on the age within their own species, which is hilarious because nobody wins in the end. Yeah. Well, actually, the elf does win because the other species, such as a anthropomorphic bear and a halfling, both say that the elf woman is worse because they could feel that her manner is old and withering.
Oh.
But because humans can't feel that, there's no problem with him.
Yeah.
But I love it because the halfling rated both of the women like 2 out of 10, just because he's like, I'm not into older women.
Yeah. I love the virgin snake as well.
Yes.
Is he a snake or a lizard?
No, he's a lizard.
Yeah, a lizard.
He's like, oh, another thing to put in my notes or my journal. I'm one of the guys.
He's
like,
just preparing.
Are you ever gonna get laid? And he's like, don't judge me, alright?
Yeah, he's just preparing. I love it.
It's hilarious. But yeah, it's pretty feel good. If you don't want to read or watch something too ecchi, read the manga, because the anime is a lot more graphic and things. It expands way more.
Yeah.
And the manga just isn't as bad with that. It touches over some things. But the main thing, it's a bit of reading, but it's really fun, is the reviews that they give. It is hilarious what each character does it, because there is development in it, because like you get to see how their opinions like change and morph within it, and it's really adorable because like halfway through the anime, like they asked their viewers which their favorite was, and at the after credits scene was all the brothel girls going over like who was rated the highest. It's really self-aware and hilarious. Yeah. And then like the first place is done, it's really funny, but then it's like, but the real winner was the old woman, the old human woman from the first episode, because everyone loved her as a joke.
Oh my god!
And so she was technically rated the highest, like by double of what the second was.
So they were aware of the impact it had, like the fan base.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, they knew exactly what they were doing. It's hilarious. It's so self-aware. It's so referential in like different anime and things.
Yeah.
It's just a good time. It's fun with the characters. It's just a little bit ecchi, and it's a bit of fantasy monster girl, so it's always fun for me. You know, it's just another comedy. You know, good thing to read. A bit like Plus Sized Elf, but different premise, different kind of humor. You know.
Yeah.
I would rate it like for what it literally is, like a solid 8 out of 10. I thoroughly enjoy it.
Serious question though.
Go on.
Best species.
Probably a harpy.
Okay.
Probably harpy.
This is a safe space. There's no judgment here.
Of course. well, because the main like not the main side, the side character that is a waitress at the brothel
She's probably
is a
my
harpy.
favorite character. Yeah.
Yes, she's hilarious because
Yeah,
she
she's
just
so funny.
she like gets really annoyed at the guys for making reviews because she finds it really sexist.
Yeah.
And so there is definitely some self-awareness there because they know what it is, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so they have that conflict. And it's really funny because in like the first chapter, she gets really annoyed and it's like, oh, what are you gonna do with the money? And then they're like, oh, we're gonna review a new species, and she just sighs. and then she's like, a month later, they come back with new review sheets, and she's like, oh, could you put this up on the wall, please? And she's like, oh, okay, sure. Puts them up, realized they reviewed harpies. And then she was like super annoyed at him. And then he touched a very sensitive spot on the back of her neck. And then he's like, oh, right behind there. And then she literally just beats him up. Literally just punches him. Is the next frame.
Yeah.
And he's on the ground. And then the chapter ends.
Very thought-provoking. Very deep.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a fun time, right? Yeah. It's just a bit of fun. On the art style, it's super cartoonish and stylized. I love it. It's like, you know how like it's sort of like cartoony in the anime?
Yeah.
Like double that.
Yeah.
You can tell he just doodled this as like a bit of a joke.
The opening as well for the anime absolutely slaps.
Oh, it's hilarious. And it goes with YMCA.
I know. I think all of the stuff we talked about this episode, both the anime, I think, have good openings.
Yeah. I've heard Erased is pretty good.
Erased and, oh my god, it's by Asian Kung Fu Generation. You know, the band that made Naruto opening 2.
Oh, yes.
Absolute. Just, there's no opinion. It is just the fact that is the best anime opening of all time. Absolutely love it. Shame about the show, though.
Cowboy Bebop stands start like firing.
Cowboy Bebop's opening is overrated. Shut up.
Oh wow, what do you actually think?
It's good, but it's not like, you know, it's not on the same level as Naruto opening 2. Okay. Not on the same level.
I guess that's just your opinion.
Okay.
But yeah, give it a read if you just want a little bit of just a little bit of ecchi comedy, just like full plus size elf. But if you don't like thicker monster girls, then you go with this one. You know, yeah. So it's a good mix between them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say it's solid comedy, really.
Now you're 2 for 2 on the monster girl ecchi. I think I know which one you're gonna do next episode.
Shall I make it a trio? You
can make it a hat trick, but not next episode though, because next episode is a special episode. More details on that at the end.
Which I'm pretty sure most of our viewers will not watch because nobody watches.
We want to make it, so we're gonna make it.
Yeah, fuck you.
Fuck you.
Show.
Okay.
Right. So shall I move on to my comic then?
By all means.
So, I read The Oath, a Doctor Strange comic, and it's pretty strange. I'm not gonna lie. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you're on your own with this one. I have barely read Doctor Strange comics.
I haven't read all of it, but I've read most of it.
Yeah. I know you just like Doctor Strange as well.
I like mostly probably just because it's Benedict Cumberbatch, which I love him as an actor.
Yeah.
Probably. So, you know. But it's pretty funny how it starts because they're in the middle of like a hospice.
Yeah.
And fucking just this night nurse. I think it's Wong, a servant to the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah, Wong. He's in the movies as well.
Yeah, yep. Drags in an unconscious, bleeding Doctor Strange. He's just dead already.
Oh my god.
And then you found out he's been shot.
How the hell does Doctor Strange get shot?
Yes, the Doctor Strange who has magic just gets shot.
Oh my god.
Which is why I always say magic can never beat modern technology because bullets.
Yeah.
But then you realize that it was silver bullets.
Okay.
Shot by a thief named Brigand, if you know him.
I think I know him. That's like deep Marvel lore.
Yeah,
Brigand.
I didn't really know.
Barely know it. at all.
Yeah. But he hands him a bottle of Hot Kids elixir and an amulet, and he claims that Doctor Strange is dead because he shot him. But then,
generally, what happens when you shoot someone?
But then, do you know Dr. Nicodemus West?
No.
Yeah, he's like main bad guy.
Okay.
Or of this. And he's like, but then West tells him that he should have made sure Strange was dead. Obviously, Strange survives.
Yes.
And, while it's like similar to the movie, and that while Night Nurse is operating on Strange, wait, I'm trying to remember different parts.
He's like in the astral plane in the movie.
Yes, astral plane. Yes.
Yeah, he projects himself or whatever.
Yeah, he pretty much just does that. Yeah. Yes, pretty much. He'd been running errands and returned to the Sanctum Sanctorium. I hate that.
I love it. It's such a good name.
It's just too much. Yeah, and he found him, and he found him. Shot during the burglary. Yes, and he tells Night Nurse that if she doesn't hurry, he'd be dead before one could finish the explanation.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and so pretty much, I think it's just him getting back the elixir. It's pretty fun. It's actually enjoyable. I don't think I did enough. I don't think I read enough of it to rate it, but so far it seems interesting.
Yeah.
You know?
I like the art style as well, from what I've seen. It looks pretty, I don't know. It looks pretty classic, I would say.
Yeah.
Like, sort of the oldish, 70s comics type thing, which was when Doctor Strange really had his most popularity.
Yeah. However, this came out in early 2000s.
It did. It was like 2007 or something.
You're close!
Go on.
It started in 2006 of December and finished in 2007. You were so close.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty yeah.
I know Doctor Strange doesn't have that many stories, like well-known stories. He's not. I know he's got that movie and he's in Infinity War and Endgame. But in the comics, he's a pretty little-known guy, and I think The Oath is probably one of his most well-known stories. So I think you should check it out if you want to read Doctor Strange. It's an engaging read. He's a lot more comedic than he is in the movies.
And that's already kind of comedic.
Yeah, exactly.
My goddamn cape scene.
I know. Yeah.
But go into it if you know about Marvel, because I was a little bit confused at parts because I just didn't know some of the characters.
Yeah, because there was a lot of stuff going on in the early 2000s in Marvel, like in the status quo. So if you're well versed on your Marvel changes, like I am not, then you should check it out.
Is it status quo or status quo?
I don't care. I say both. It just depends on what comes out of my mouth. Depends on
how posh you want to be.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, I remember there was some pretty decent fight panels. There was an oof. There was an oof.
Brilliant.
Yep.
Was there a whoop though? I know Marvel love to make the whoop sound.
Somebody screamed nah, and they hate. Nah.
Oh my god.
And there was an oomph.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty decent. It's pretty fun.
Classic.
Yeah, I wouldn't rate it just yet, but definitely give it a read if you like Doctor Strange, because I like Doctor Strange and it was pretty funny and I enjoyed it.
And if you know, Doctor Strange looks so much better in the comics, I think, than he does in the movie. And I know, in the movie he just looks like Benedict Cumberbatch, but in the
they just didn't do anything.
Yeah, they didn't do anything with his face or anything, which I like because he looks fine in the movie, but I love his older, sort of more extravagant appearance with his mustache and stuff.
He looks strange. Nobody looks like that anymore.
Yeah, I know. He looks like a French sword swashbuckling hero or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I would not have liked to see Benedict Cumberbatch with the pencil mustache. Just saying.
Yeah. Oh my god.
That would have been so weird. But yeah, definitely give it a read if you like Doctor Strange, and that's all I have to say. Really, it was a fun little thing.
Yeah, cool.
Mm-hmm.
If you want a Benedict Cumberbatch comic, read the Sherlock manga, which exists.
Yes,
For
I have
some
two.
reason.
I have two.
But why?
No, why?
Okay. Anyway, on to my comic, which is from the DC side of the tracks, which is, just better. Son of Superman. I know nobody likes Superman anymore, but this is Superman Volume 1 of the DC Rebirth imprint type thing. So it's when DC reset everything in 2016. This is the first volume of Superman. And it's good. It's good at setting up a new version of Superman. And I might actually read more, because Superman is very different than, what you saw in the early 2000s, where he was like really popular. Where he was sort of just, this standard cookie cutter good guy saving cats out of trees, stuff like that. Like, boring. Batman is better. But this Superman is a lot more complex in his thing. Like, I haven't read all of the backup stories. I've read a bit of the backup stories to it that like set it up. But he's like a Superman from another universe who has come to our universe after our universe's Superman is dead. Sort of like a Spider-Verse type thing. And he's sort of trying to fit in, and he's trying to win the Justice League's trust. And he's trying to raise a family of his universe's Lois Lane and their son, which is Jonathan. And I know it's called Son of Superman, but it's not really about Jonathan. Like, he's a main character, obviously. And it's like him learning to use his powers and stuff. And I think Jonathan will be really interesting in the future of DC, because as it stands, he's probably as powerful as Superman. So when he grows, he's like 10 years old or something. So like when he grows, I feel like he will be a major player in DC, which I'm excited for, because I like Jonathan. He's pretty funny for a child character. The main villain of this story, though, is the Eradicator. Now, I know you definitely don't know who that is, Dan.
No, and he sounds awful.
Yeah,
he's
a very, very niche Superman villain, and it was really weird to see him as like the main villain of the first volume, and I think that's sort of where it falls flat in like the action side of things, which is a shame, because Superman has always been known for his massive fights, like on a scale that Batman can't really emulate.
Ha, get wrecked, sorry.
Yeah, because Superman is just strong. He is a strong boy. And he has these massive fights that just rip up cities, and it's like, yeah, we saved the city, but there's no city to be saved because Superman threw the villain through it. Stuff like that. And the Eradicator sort of just doesn't have that. It's sort of, he's just an evil Superman. He has Superman's powers. That's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's sort of just a stalemate of him fighting Superman, but neither of them are getting tired, and then they both get tired, and then Jonathan kills the Eradicator. And is he
10-year-old?
Yeah, Superman basically wins because he has another one of himself for when he gets tired. That's literally it. That's literally it. Because the Eradicator is the equal of Superman. So it's Superman v Superman, but it's like, no, it's Superman and Superman v Superman. So,
Superboy.
Yeah, and the character moments are really good. It's good to set up these characters. And, it ends on a happy note. The Justice League trust this version of Superman now, so he's going to be the main Superman. I think this is where Superman's solar flare power comes from. Like, I know he has it, because I've read other Superman comics and read other Justice League comics where he has it, but I think this is where it is introduced. It's sort of left ambiguous. Solar flare is basically like a massive explosion that Superman can do, and it like releases all of his power, and then he takes like an hour or two to recharge, and he's really weak. Yeah, it's sort of just the last
So
ditch.
it's pretty much like a nuke.
Yeah, it's a nuke. It's a self-destruct. Except he doesn't die from it. He just gets really thin and spindly.
Okay.
And I like that. I feel like it would be better if there was just a better villain in it. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, the Eradicator is such a niche super. I had to look him up because I didn't know who he was. And I know pretty much every DC character ever. And I didn't know who this guy was. And he's in the first volume of Superman. Like, put Lex Luthor in. I know. Like, Lex Luthor's a little bit boring at this point. But this is a new universe and a new continuity. And I feel like Lex Luthor should have been there. Because he's been there with Superman since the beginning. Or, like, at least Bizarro. Bizarro's funny. Like, put him in instead of the Eradicator. It's basically the same thing. He has Superman's powers, but they're all reversed. Like, he shoots ice out of his eyes and he breathes fire and stuff. Like, I like Bizarro. He's funny. But yeah, Son of Superman, 6 out of 10. Good on the characters, awful on the fight scenes. If you want to start reading Superman, start with this. I don't see why you would want to start reading Superman, though, because, you know, Superman has always been a little bit meh, except for that one period in, like, 2009. Yeah. It's alright. That's all I can really say. On to the video games, then. And we've got a little bit of a classic now. We're not heading into the present here, we're heading into the past, and in a good way. And I won't say any more, Dan, you can take over.
So, recently I've been playing a little bit of Dead by Daylight, and a recent new killer has come to the game, and that being Pyramid Head from the Silent Hill franchise.
Super iconic guy.
I love the character, so I had to buy him.
Yeah.
And he's very fun. I enjoyed it. So much so, it got me wanting to play the games. So, I played Silent Hill 2.
Which is the best one, I hear.
It is the best one.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know there's been a little bit of a mix-up. Like Resident Evil, it's had its ups and downs.
Yeah.
The movie's good.
So,
it's
it's mixed. There is so mixed, Mason.
I like it. I know it's completely different to the game story, but
it's not, and that's the main reason why.
I still like it.
The movies make no sense.
Hey, but for a 2006 movie, the CGI is absolutely brilliant for some reason. Like,
I guess.
I think, yeah, it's like easy. It's like it's better than Avatar, man. Like,
but character designs
the nurses look
nothing
okay.
like no, but they aren't used in the same way that they are in the game.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's completely different, but I like it.
Yes,
nonetheless.
but that's the point. They don't do the things that the game did so well, and because of that, it suffers. The game, I'm pretty sure the nurses are in the game to portray the main character's sexual frustration. I mean, but in the movie,
I'd hit it.
They're just in there for shock value and for the audience to scream, "Oh, hey, they're the nurses from the game," and that's it.
Don't act like Pyramid Head isn't in the movie for that exact reason. He's in it for like 5 minutes.
What are you talking about? That's exactly my point with every single one of them, Mason.
Yeah. I like it.
He's just in there to kill the final boss and not try to kill Heather for some unknown reason.
It's explained more in the second one, but I will agree with you. The second one is absolute trash. The first one, though, hidden gem. That's all I'm saying.
Right, enough about that.
The game.
I'll get on to the plot.
Yeah.
So, James Sunderland comes to Silent Hill, a remote town that is like rumors around it being really creepy and stuff. And he goes to that town after apparently receiving a letter from his wife, Mary, who died of an illness 3 years before.
Wait a minute.
But the letter is written in her exact handwriting.
Okay.
Yeah, it's weird.
So obviously someone's trying to lure him to Silent Hill.
Yes. Exactly. I do not want to spoil anything, but I'll read the letter reads, "In my restless dreams, I see that town, Silent Hill. You promised me you'd take me there again someday, but you never did. Well, I'm alone there now, in our special place, waiting for you to come see me. But you never do, And so I wait, wrapped in my cocoon of pain and loneliness. I know I've done a terrible thing to you. Something you'll never forgive me for. I wish I could change that, but I can't. And then it goes on like a long. It's really long.
Have you ever considered becoming a creepypasta reading channel then?
I didn't even put on my voice. But yeah, it's like I was playing it like 2 a.m.
God,
and
no,
I will say,
I would not be able to.
It is actually still kind of creepy. It's still kind of creepy.
It's PS2, right?
Yes, PS2.
Yeah, so it doesn't look great.
No, it doesn't look that good, but it still looks decent for PS2 era.
Yeah.
Very similar to Resident Evil, but just looks better.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think that was Resi 3 or 4. It was PS2.
Resi 4 was PS2? I thought it was PS3.
Maybe, yeah, it must be 3 then.
Because it looks way too good for PS2.
I mean, they still have to have a separate loading screen for the merchant.
True. But yeah, it doesn't look that good. However, it does horror. I could see why it's so critically acclaimed. It is so good.
Yeah.
In its horror. Like, so you pretty much, what you do as James is you have to explore the town to try and find your wife. The map is literally the entire town. You pretty much just walk around it.
Yeah.
Go into different areas. And it's pretty creepy because you'll get given a radio near the start, and whenever it goes off static, then a monster is nearby, and it gets louder as the monster gets nearer.
No, I wouldn't be able to cope with that.
Yes, and already with like the monsters themselves, even looking in PS2 era, they do look really scary.
Yeah.
Like, it's obvious that the monsters they first see are based off of like straitjackets because they have no arms, but you can see like an outline of the arms. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and obviously in this one, Pyramid Head's there, but I didn't actually play the game long enough to see him, unfortunately. But you know,
is he the final boss?
I don't actually know.
I feel like
I didn't get that much. I didn't get that far into it, but I'm wanting to. I will definitely. I will definitely update the next episode on how it goes because I'm gonna play more of this. It is genuinely scary, and it's really annoying because the ambience is super immersive because you just hear like constant like crashing and like. When I was just walking down a goddamn pathway to get to Silent Hill, and it sounded like there were things coming out of the water, like groaning and moaning, and it was really like uncomforting or discomforting. You know what I mean?
I would not be able to do that. I'm famously like terrible at horror games.
Yeah, but it's so good. It still holds up, and it's not scary, but it's creepy, and that's what I think.
Yeah, it's the atmosphere. Yeah, that's what everyone says about Silent Hill. It is the atmosphere.
Yeah. Obviously, a game is not perfect. The voice acting is a train wreck.
God, really?
Obviously, it's Silent Hill 2 is known for its bad voice acting.
I know nothing about the series apart from like the most well-known monsters. So
yeah, it's not got the best voice acting. Like obviously it's old, like it's early 2000s. So it's not going to be perfect. But like I can appreciate it because it just kind of adds a little bit of cheesiness to it, and I kind of like that. But you know, it's like he just says something like, after he literally kills one of the monsters, he hears his radio go off. Like it is really, really like climactic as well. It's like this arena that you fight them in that you like learn the controls for. By the way, it doesn't even tell you what the controls are. You're just thrown in there, and I had to like look it up how to do it. So I like. A is the interact button, and you only like you're not even told any button to do. So I have to look up that you have to guard or like stance up using RT, and then use the interact A button to swing.
Ooh.
And so like for 2 minutes I was like running around it trying to press every button to try and figure out how to swing. No. It was terrifying. But I was circling. It's pretty. Yeah, it's obviously after that it's a walk. It's a piece of cake because you know they don't actually fight back that much. Once you get them like hit stun, they don't fight back.
Yeah.
But those are just the first enemies. I didn't get far enough to the next ones, obviously. But what else to say about it? Bad, bit too heavy on the fog. I understand the fog is major, but it's just a bit too much.
Yeah.
And it's like you can't even see like 2 feet in front of you.
That sounds quite annoying. I think I've seen
However,
screenshots of it.
Yeah. However, in they do two for the remake or the remaster, whichever it is, they listened to people and did it too much. They pulled down the fog way too far so that you can see edges of the map.
Oh.
So they did, they dialed back the fog too much.
So would you rather have it like?
I would rather have too much than not at all, because it adds to the creepiness.
Cool.
Because no fog at all just doesn't make it scary.
Yeah, exactly.
But anything else bad? It originally has tank controls, which are unbearable. They are awful. And I wish I'd known sooner, but I only figured out you could change it to normal 3D, third person controls half an hour in.
Oh my god.
So half an hour, I had to use tank controls, and it was the most painful experience I've I've dealt with. But as I was playing it, I was like, okay, I could get used to this, and I was getting used to it. But then I saw that you could play it in 2D, with 2D controls. Did it instantly change to it, and then stayed with it because I just couldn't deal without them now, because they are just so much better. So, But yeah, other than that, I love it. I'm literally not going to tell you anything else more about the story. You need just play it. Just get an emulator or boot up an old PS2. Yeah. Get it on there. Or, it is.
If you have PS3, I know it's worse, but play the HD collection. That's the first 3 games.
I guess
remastered.
You could do that.
Some of the quality of life things are bad, but I know a lot of people don't have PS2s, so that's one thing.
Exactly.
A few people still have their old PS3s and Xbox 360s lying around. I know
Same
you do.
here. I have both.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I would say I can see why it's so highly rated. Pretty much I'm pretty sure it's got a 9 out of 10 on Metacritic.
Yeah, something like
that.
It's 89 out of 100, yeah.
Yeah, it is super good. I really enjoy my time playing it. And it was, even though I have not played games like that, it made me feel nostalgic for a game I've never played before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was weird.
I think personally I've sort of been taken off horror games. Because thrown in the deep end. I think the first actual horror game I've played, apart from Five Nights at Freddy's, was Resident Evil 7. So I've sort of lost my nerve now after 3 or 4 hours of that game.
We should definitely one time just record ourselves playing Alien Isolation.
Don't
worry. I'd play it. Don't worry. And we'd find a way to screen share it as well, so you can look.
Yeah.
Because that would be so good. That would be hilarious.
Twitch.tv/the Weeb Couch Podcast, everyone.
Either that or just get a VOD of it and put it on a channel.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say definitely play it. It is super cool. So good. Just play it. Just play it. That's, I think.
So what's the rating for it then?
Ooh, so far, out of pure enjoyment, a solid 8. Just out of enjoyment, and I'm sure that will increase as I play.
Brilliant.
With new with the new characters, the themes. It's so deep with its imagery, which I love. I love when they do that in video games.
Yeah, that's the one thing I did know about this series. All of the monsters represent something within the guy's life or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Like I said, the nurses represent sexual frustration, and I believe that Pyramid Head himself represents violence.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You see the size of his sword.
Yeah. Puts Cloud to shame.
It's literally just a buster blade. I love it.
It's so good. But he did it for
limit Pyramid Head though. That would be terrible.
Pyramid Head for Smash, man.
Limit Pyramid Head would be absolutely terrifying.
He wouldn't even have a run. He'd just have a walk.
Yeah.
That'd be great. But yeah, highly recommend. Silent Hill 2. I don't know about the other ones, but definitely Silent Hill 2. Worth playing.
Yeah.
Definitely worth.
And if there's another week like last week, if there's a week where there's not any new games coming out, I think I will go back and play one of the bad ones.
Ooh, that could be fun.
Because I'm actually quite interested in the series after hearing Dan talk about it to me.
I actually wanna finish this game because
it sounds good. It sounds really good.
It's good.
And I know a lot of people think the same. It's one of the most praised horror franchises in gaming.
Well, not praised. I'd say well known.
Well known, yeah. But there are a lot of good ones.
Yeah.
It's just a shame that there are a lot of bad ones as well. I think there's like 10 or 11 games total in the series.
I don't actually know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say we can move on to yours, which I have heard doesn't have the most positive reviews.
So my game is Twin Mirror, which is a narrative adventure game from Dontod Entertainment. Dontod Entertainment being the creators of Life is Strange and Tell Me Why. Tell Me Why also came out this year.
Ain't nothing but a heartbreak. Heartache, not break. My bad.
We yeah, that was an Xbox Series X launch title. Yeah. We're
one of three.
So it may as well didn't come out pretty much. So yeah, Twin Mirror is a completely separate story from Life is Strange and Tell Me Why, completely its own thing. I've read that it was made by a small division within Dontod. So Dontod as a company, the company was working on Tell Me Why, and there was like a small segment of them that worked on Twin Mirror, and it shows. This game is absolute hot garbage. Oh my god. I don't know where to begin. It stinks of laziness. And I guess you could say, there was only a small team working on it. But if you're going to publish something under Dontod is a well-known studio now because of Life is Strange, which is one of my favourite games of all time, 10 out of 10. Absolutely brilliant. Which is maybe why this stings a little bit more for me than it would for most people. It's sad, but I think Dontod has peaked with Life is Strange 1, which was their first game back in 2014 or something. Yeah, I don't think Life is Strange 2 or Tell Me Why, or especially this is their worst game by far, I would say. But I don't think any other game has come close to capturing that pure brilliance. I'll talk about Life is Strange another time. Twin Mirror follows Sam something. I can't even remember his second name, who is a investigative journalist, and he returns to his old town of Basswood, Virginia. I don't know if that's a real town or not. If it is, get a better town name. Basswood.
More like Basswood.
That's what I was calling it in my head for a while until I actually realised that they were saying Basswood. And I was like, damn, that's so much worse. And he comes back to this town for his friend Nick. It's Nick's funeral. Nick has died in a car crash. And Sam comes back to Basswood because he left Basswood. And he's come back after 2 years, and it's like, wow, all this nostalgia. But the main focus, like in Life is Strange, the main focus is this nostalgia and for what might have been, and the fun times that you had in the past with your friends and all that cool, wholesome stuff. But you can't relate to any of it because Sam left Basswood after being run out of town after he made an expose article on the town's mine, which led to the mine getting shut down, which led to most of the town losing their jobs because it's a mining town. So the whole town basically ran him out because everyone hates him. And it's I can't relate to that. That's never happened to me. And it's meant to be all relatable and stuff, but it's in Life is Strange, Max moves away from Chloe. They were best friends as children, but Max had to move away, and then she's come back to the town, and and it's like remembering all the fun times you're having. It's like, yeah, that's more accessible. When you move schools or you move towns, you move house, you're gonna leave people behind, and it's like that feeling of nostalgia. But I've never been run out of town by angry miners after publishing an article about them, and it's like. It's like the whole game bases itself.
Happens every week for me.
The whole game bases itself on this assumption that you know exactly what is going through Sam's mind at any given time, and you're completely sympathizing with him. And it's like, I don't really care about your situation at all, man. I really don't care. But the game just assumes that you do. And it's like, Nick actually didn't die in a car crash, although he did die in a car crash, but he was murdered, and the car crash was a setup. And the rest of it is just this mystery, and it's like, who of these like small cast of characters in this small town, which one of them is the killer, and which one killed him? And it's like, I don't want to credit this game, but to credit them, I didn't see it coming who it was, but that's not because they were clever about it. It's just because they introduced this character. And then they took this character away, and you never hear about the character again in any shape or form until the end, where they're like, haha, I was the killer this whole time. That's not clever. That's just not developing a character and then making them the villain. So it's like, you didn't see that coming. Of course I didn't see it coming, because you never gave me any sort of hint whatsoever. The storytelling in this game is absolute shit. I hate it. And there's like this thing with what was his name? Sam? I can't remember his name. God damn it, the main character, the one you play as. There's this thing with Sam where he has like an imaginary friend that like talks to him, and it's like a well kept, like smart looking version of him. He's got like a suit on, he's got like glasses, and his hair's all nice.
It's King Back.
It's King Back. There are no comically large spoons in this game. Instant 0 out of 10.
0 out of 10.
Yeah. And he sort of talks to this imaginary friend, and the imaginary friend sort of helps him with dialogue. And like all of the Dontod games, dialogue is a major part of this game, and it sort of determines the other characters' reactions to you. You've seen it before, tons of games. You choose a dialogue option and you get a set response. But there's no choice in this game. There's only one ending of this game. And it happens no matter what you pick. And I feel like that's really weird, considering it's a narrative adventure game, but it doesn't have multiple endings. Like, I chose to be a good boy when I ran through it. I have finished the game because it's mercifully short. It's like 5 hours long. And I ran through it like being a good boy. I usually run through like narrative games being an absolute dick and just insulting everyone. But I thought I would be a good boy this round. And
wait. You're mean to NPCs? Get the fuck out of here!
Yeah, no, I know. I'm usually like that in games. I was definitely like that in Life is Strange, just for fun. Well, I've done many runs of Life is Strange. But in my one and only run of Twin Mirror, because I will never boot up this game again, I was nice to everyone, but everyone still ends up hating you because there's only one choice in the game. And there's only one path you can take. And it's like, what's the point? Where's the value in making a choice if they're all going to lead to the same outcome? And it's just strange to me. And the game feels too short. I know I said it's mercifully short, but that's because it's so obvious that there was meant to be more, but it's been cut out. And there were just like you can choose dialogue options which allude to conversations that aren't even in the game anymore, that have been cut out of the game. So you're like, what the hell? Like, I had to actually Google it and look it up. It's like, what the hell are these people talking about? It's like, yeah, remember when we had that conversation? No, because that conversation never happened. And I Googled it. It's like, turns out they cut out about 40% of this game.
Yikes.
And it's like, I don't want to say it would be better if they kept it in, but it would be more of a game if you had more branching options with the story. As of now, it just seems like a film. It's like a movie. I have no control over what I'm doing. It's like I'm watching a movie. And that's not a bad thing. The story is surface level in its base, but it's fine. It's an average story. It's just a small town murder mystery. It's like a Scooby-Doo episode. But it's a game, so you should have some sort of control, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
the most control you get in this game is you steer Sam to a place that will activate a cutscene, and then you do it again and again. And it's cutscene after. There is more cutscenes than gameplay. There are no actual there's no gameplay in this game. You just watch cutscene after cutscene. And that's what really rubs me the wrong way, because it's like I want to play the game. I want to actually do things that give me different choices and stuff like that. Especially in a Dontod game, because all of the Dontod games previously have been narrative branching story games where you can get multiple endings and different outcomes, and it actually encourages you to go back and do different things. But there's just like, and I said I was doing a good boy run, but I wasn't really doing a good boy run, because there's an option in every dialogue box where you can ask your imaginary friend what the best thing to say is. So he just tells you which one to pick, which will make them like you. I mean, it doesn't really matter anyway, because there's no options. But like, I just press Y, and then my imaginary friend sort of like, steps into me and answers for me. And it's like, okay, cool, that happened. They like me now. And they're so clearly, because obviously Sam has some sort of disorder like DID or, multiple personality disorder or something like that. Because he zones out all the time, he has panic attacks, and you go into like the world of his mind where you have to like do these awful like maze segments where you run through a maze. And it's like the maze of his brain, because he has this condition that is never said what it is. It's never expanded upon, and I think that would really help with Sam's character, because he's just a blank slate. It's like, yes, I publish article, people don't like me, that makes me sad. That's it. And all of the other characters are pretty much the same. You have this one guy that looks exactly like Jonah Hill from Superbad. It's so weird that he looks exactly like him, and I was like, that was the most entertainment. That was the most entertainment I got out of the game. Just like sort of laughing, not even laughing, just sort of chuckling. It's like, haha, that guy sort of looks like Jonah Hill, and yeah, that's all the enjoyment I got out of Twin Mirror. Extremely... What the fuck
do you mean? It was between that and Muhammad?
What do you mean? Superbad is a brilliant movie.
We'll definitely cover that.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. One. And it's just boring. That's what it comes down to. Boring and lazy. The one thing I can praise this game on is the engine is good, so the game looks good, and it was like making my PC vomit all the time I was playing, because the graphics are very, very good. But that's the one praise I can give this. And there's a guy that looks like Jonah Hill. Those are the only praises I can give this game. Twin Mirror, 2 out of 10.
Oof, 2
out of 10. No value. If it was a movie, I would give it maybe a 4 or a 5. But just, why isn't it a movie? As a game, 2 out of 10. There's just no control. That's it. You have no control over what you do.
Or is there no freedom?
There's no freedom, exactly. And the whole point of a game is that it's a fantasy. That's the whole point of a video game. You're going into a world that isn't your own, and you get to, make choices in that world. Especially in a game from a company that prides itself on its choice games. And there's just no choice. Yeah. There's just no choice in this game, and it's just odd. I'm mystified as to why they would cut out the part that gives you choice. And as of that, boring. Do not buy it. Steer clear. Especially if you don't have a top-end PC, because it almost burnt a hole in my floor because my PC was working that hard to run it.
It's just now in my kitchen.
It's just dropped through to the
kitchen. It went through the floor.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate this game. It's an insult to Dontod. They peaked with Life is Strange 1, it seems. Which is a shame. Yeah. So, yeah. Onto our film section. Let's brighten the mood a little bit with a film that we both actually really enjoy. Bit of a cult classic that we just found randomly scrolling through Netflix one Halloween, and we were like, let's watch a horror movie, and we just threw this on, and it was surprisingly good. The movie is Hostel, and Dan's going to run through the plot. Take it away.
So, pretty much, college students Paxton and Josh are traveling across Europe with their Icelandic friend Oli, or as you'll better know him as later on in the movie as the King of the Sving.
The King of Der Sving, the greatest movie character ever created.
Amazing. And so they are in the Netherlands. They visit an Amsterdam nightclub, followed by a brothel, as you would.
Yep.
But they are unable to get back into their hostel because of a curfew. So they accept the offer of a man named Alexei to stay at his apartment. And he convinces them that instead of going to Barcelona, that they should visit a hostel in Slovakia because it's filled with beautiful and desperate women.
Wow.
Of course, the guys are like, of course, yes, we're going to get so much pussy.
Yeah, they sort of play a little bit like the In-Betweeners. I thought when I first watched it.
Yes.
they play a little bit like the In-Betweeners.
So that's what I thought. So they board the train where they encounter a Dutch businessman who touches Josh's leg. Pretty weird. And so Josh yells at him and he leaves. Kind of foreshadowing. So they arrive in Slovakia and they find their roommates in the hostel are two women, Natalia and Svetlana. Yes, Svetlana. The women invite them to a spa and later to a disco. And outside the disco, Josh has a run with a gang of local criminal kids who are gypsies.
Oh,
it's hilarious.
I love that.
It's hilarious.
It's so funny.
And so the Dutch businessman who was on the train intervenes to defend him. And Josh buys him a beer and apologizes for his reaction on the train. And then it cuts. And then so it cuts to Paxton and Josh have sex with Natalia and Svetlana. And while Ollie leaves with the desk girl, Vala, the next morning, Ollie doesn't return. The desk clerk tells them...
He swung too far.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, he may have to go step down from his position of king.
Yeah. Never go that far in pursuit of the swing.
Of course. But then the desk clerk that Ollie took tells the two friends that Ollie, although I keep saying Ollie, but it's Oli, but it's just a bit easier. Ollie checked out, and the two are then approached by a Japanese woman named Kana, who shows them a photo of Ollie and her friend Yuki, who is also missing. Later, the group receive a message from Ollie with a supposed selfie claiming he has gone home. Elsewhere, Ollie has been decapitated.
Yep.
While Yuki is being tortured.
It's
It cuts there. It's so cool. It's just like
the filmmaking's really blunt. Like there's no it doesn't. Eli Roth, who's the director, doesn't dress it up in the slightest. There's like a hard cut. He was
just decapitated.
Yeah.
Isn't it like a weird tracking shot as well?
Something like that.
Yeah, but it's like building up tension. It's like, oh my god, he's dead.
Yeah.
He's not actually just gone home. What the hell? Because even his friends are like, that isn't like Oli. I wouldn't have done that, because they're all worried. And also, Yuki is being tortured, the Japanese girl's friend.
Yeah.
And so Josh is anxious to leave, but Paxton convinces him to stay one more night with Natalia and Svetlana, obviously because he hasn't had this much intimacy with a woman in his entire life.
He's aching to take over the position of King of the Swing.
Exactly. He's been jealous all this time.
Yeah.
But both of these women later slip both men tranquilizers.
Mm-hmm.
Josh feels sick, goes back to the hostel, and faints on his bed. Also feeling sick, Paxton goes to the bathroom and ends up locked in the pantry. And then Josh wakes up in a dungeon-like room where the Dutch businessman begins maiming him with a drill.
Yeah, that would, yeah.
While he...
this movie.
Yep.
It's a lot of parallels have been drawn between it and Saw, especially Saw 2, because they sort of came out around the same time.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's a lot of grisly stuff in this movie.
Yeah. And he's doing so... While while musing over his dream of becoming a surgeon.
Yeah, it's yeah. Oh my god, the
Yes.
villains
And
in this movie are so well done.
Yes, because they are literally just psychopaths.
Yeah, exactly.
They have
just
no
rich
reason.
people who want to take out their frustration on them.
Yes, and so the Dutchman drills holes into Josh's body.
Mm.
Super gory, screaming all around, and so Josh is screaming that he wants to leave. And then the guy's like, "Okay, I'll let you leave." And then the camera pans up to Josh's face, and then you just hear slicing and Josh screaming. And then he says, "Now you can get up and leave." Josh gets up, stands, and you realize, and then it cuts to a shot of his feet, and then he falls forward as the guy has sliced open his Achilles tendons. You literally see his foot
I remember we both like gasped at that part when we watched the movie.
It was sudden.
Yeah,
I'm fine with gore. I'm perfectly fine with gore. So it was more shocking to me. I was like, oh my god.
Did not expect.
Yeah. It's so strange. And then he literally, obviously, screams because he falls to the ground instantly because his entire foot gets ripped off.
Yeah.
And then he's crawling while the guy's laughing, walking behind him, and then he slits his throat with a scalpel.
Yeah.
Pause. So then Paxton wakes up in the disco and returns to the hostel and learns that he had supposedly checked out. Paxton is given a new room where he is greeted by two women who invite him to the spa. Suspicious, he locates Natalia and Svetlana, who tell him that Josh went to an art exhibit. Natalia takes Paxton to an old factory where he sees Josh's mutilated corpse being stitched together by the Dutch boss, the businessman. Yep. Two men drag Paxton down a hallway, passing by several rooms where other people are being tortured. Paxton is restrained in a chair and prepped to be tortured by a German client named Johann. Paxton attempts to plead with Johann by speaking German, but Johann places a ball gag in his mouth, which he removes after Paxton vomits in fear.
Yep. I think that was the one bit that got me, where he vomits into the gag. Oh my god.
Yep. While cutting off Paxton's fingers with a chainsaw, Johann unintentionally severs his restraints, and Johann slips on the ball gag and falls over, severing his own leg with the chainsaw.
It's like,
I shit you not, it's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
I don't know if it's meant to be funny or not, but it's absolutely hilarious.
It's so comedic. It's like a cartoon. Yeah. He slipped and the chainsaw falls on his own leg. I can imagine the cartoon
sound effect as he slips as well.
It's just the Tom scream.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then Paxton reaches for a gun and shoots Johann in the head. Bye-bye, Johann.
Rip.
He then kills a guard before leaving the room. He finds the elevator to the top floor where he changes into business clothes and finds a business card for the Elite Hunting Club, an organization that allows rich people to pay to kill and mutilate tourists. On the way out, Paxton finds Kana, who is being disfigured with a blowtorch.
Yep. Yeah.
Her face has been mutilated by it. Paxton rescues Kana, and they flee in a stolen car pursued by guards. While driving, Paxton runs over Natalia, Svetlana, and Alexei, killing them. So he got his own back in the end.
Yep, you've always got to have a revenge scene in these kind of movies.
While driving, Paxton encounters the gypsy delinquents and gives them candies and gum. The gypsies then attack and kill the men pursuing Paxton with some concrete blocks. They paid kids to kill people. I love it.
I mean, I don't know how things go down in Slovakia, but you know.
Exactly. And then the two make it to the train station. However, something really actually kind of traumatizing happens. Anna, seeing her disfigured face and then crying after seeing it, kills herself by leaping in front of an oncoming train.
You know, what every rational person would do.
Yeah, it is kind of sad because she's like, you can tell she's so upset with what's happened. She just can't handle it all, and so just ends it. Super sad. Paxton boards another train unnoticed. Aboard, Paxton hears the voice of the Dutch businessman. When the train stops in Vienna, Austria, Paxton follows the Dutch businessman into a public restroom and kills him before boarding another train. And that is how the story ends.
For now, there are 3 of these movies.
There are. However, I see that there is an alternate ending.
Oh, really?
In the director's cut, Paxton kidnaps the Dutch businessman's daughter instead of killing him. After finding her teddy in the restroom she was supposed to be in, the Dutch businessman searches for his missing daughter, unaware that Paxton Strange has just left. So he actually kidnapped the guy's daughter.
That's weird. No, I don't think I prefer that.
Exactly. Yeah. So and yeah, that's in the director's cut.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I'm glad they changed the ending because
that's just a bit weird.
That's really like dark.
Yeah.
That's too dark. I understand like why, but that's just too dark, man.
Yeah.
But that's how it ends. Like nothing is resolved. The big corporation isn't stopped.
Yeah. And they come into play a lot more in the second one, I remember. But
let's not.
Yeah. I don't think we count the third one.
The sequels are...
Yeah. They're really bad.
They are just bad. They're a bad kind of bad.
So, I mean, the third one is sort of so bad it's good.
Yeah, I mean, with the cockroach scene, that's pretty funny. Had the cinema shot. That's just funny.
I can't even believe that is a shot that exists in a film.
Yep.
It's so bad. Yeah.
It's pretty sure for the audience, it's a shot of the camera inside someone's mouth and then going down their throat as cockroaches go into her mouth. Poorly CG, might I add.
It's entirely CG.
Yeah.
It's CG, and it looks... Oh my god.
Yep.
Bear in mind that Hostel 3 was direct-to-video as well, so it didn't have any budget.
Yeah. This one had a budget of $4.8 million. Pretty small.
Yeah.
Pretty small.
Because it is an indie film as well. You know.
Yeah, but did quite well in the box office for what it cost. It made $82 million.
Oh my god, that's absolutely brilliant for what it cost.
Exactly.
Jesus.
Which is why they probably made the sequel.
Exactly. Yeah. No. Yeah. I really like the first one at least. I think it's really cool.
Yeah. I actually really like how it is. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and you know me, I love gore in movies.
Yeah. So do I. Like in movies.
Well.
in movies.
You like it, but you just can't handle it.
Yeah. Like, I think I like Hostel 1 better than Saw.
Really?
I like it better from like a serious standpoint. Obviously, you can watch the Saw films and just laugh at them. Like, I think Hostel is better from like an actual storytelling perspective.
I guess. I don't know really.
Yeah. There's not really much else to say about it. I think you summed it up pretty well. It's a good little film. It's only like an hour and a half. It's like 90 minutes long.
Yep.
It's
94 minutes. You're close.
Yeah, doesn't need to be anything more than that really. I'd give it a solid 7.
I would say
on Netflix and you just want something to sink a bit of time into.
Definitely great for the Christmas time.
Yeah, great for the family.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that brings us into the news.
Yep. Not a lot of news this week. There's some pretty important things going down though. It's a very important week actually. We'll start off with some of the the less important stuff really. Doom Eternal is releasing on Switch next week.
Oh.
I think it should be funny to see what a downgrade that is, because I know that Doom 2016 already was a pretty big downgrade on its Switch version.
No.
Yeah. So, yeah, that is happening. There was a bit up in the air whether or not it was actually going to come out on Switch because it kept getting delayed. Basically, ID Software, the developers, were like, we can't water this down. We can't do anything to it to make it accessible on the Switch because the Switch is so low spec. Well, they've managed it, and it should be funny to see how much the performance changes.
But the Switch is for babies.
I know.
Why did they put Doom Eternal on a baby console?
I know.
And it's so good. It looks so good graphically. Why butcher it?
Yeah. It's gonna be funny. It's gonna be funny.
It is, but I'm still not gonna like it.
I know, yeah, because Doom Eternal's like one of your favorite games ever, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm just gonna. Oh god.
And a bit of mixed happy sad news. The sad news is that the Dave Prowse, the actor for Darth Vader in the original Star Wars movies, sadly passed away this week.
Oh, did he?
He was 84 years old. He died of natural causes. And
at least it wasn't COVID. I guess.
yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
the good news is, players of the online, the players of the online MMO Star Wars: The Old Republic, all got together. There was like 5,000 people all got together to hold a memorial for him on the server, which was really wholesome, and it was good to see.
That's really wholesome.
Yeah,
And like that is heartwarming because Darth Vader, one of my favorite cinematic villains.
I was
He's
just
so
gonna say,
cool.
he just, in terms of cinema in general, he's just an absolute icon.
One of my favorite of all time. So sad to hear that he's gone.
Yeah. Also in movie news, Tom Holland, well, it's sort of a movie/game crossover.
Oh yeah.
Here. Tom Holland will appear at the Game Awards on December the 10th. He will be a host. And
along with Keanu Reeves for Cyberpunk 2077.
And people are saying it's extremely likely that he's going to promote the Uncharted movie. Maybe with a trailer or something. I can
see that. I can see that is a definite. I can see that is going to happen.
Obviously,
because
Tom Holland's going to be playing Nathan Drake, and I'm hyped.
Yeah.
The movie Uncharted would make a good movie, sort of an Indiana Jones type vibe.
That's exactly what it's going to be, and I won't mind it.
Yeah,
because it can be, as long as it's better than Indiana Jones 4, then I think we'll all be happy.
Yeah. More on movie news. This is a huge piece of news here. Probably the biggest piece of news we've covered so far on the podcast. Probably the biggest that we'll cover for a while in terms of movie news. Obviously, with COVID, the pandemic going around the world, futures for actual physical cinemas are looking a bit uncertain. Are they going to be open? When are they going to be open? And stuff like that. And it's come out this week that Warner Brothers Entertainment have made the decision to move every single one of their 2021 releases over to HBO Max, the streaming service.
Ooh!
And some of them will be available in cinemas also, but some of them won't. They'll be streaming only. And, obviously the entire film community has gone up in arms because that's a lot of movies. Warner Brothers is a very big company.
Yeah.
And this sort of throws the future of cinemas into even more sort of jeopardy if they're losing this massive chunk of movies from next year. So, from the top of my head, The Matrix 4.
They're making another one?
That's coming out next year. Keanu's returning.
Is there any trailer?
Nope, nothing yet. We know nothing about it except that Keanu is going to be in it.
Well, no shit, Keanu's going to be in it.
Yep.
Oh my god, I did not know they were making a fourth one. Did they not think that the third one was bad enough? Did they really make a fourth one?
Yep, it's going to be weird. But that's coming to HBO Max.
I mean, hopefully they've learnt their lesson.
Yeah.
Because I love the first one.
So do I. Yeah.
One of my favourite movies of all time.
Uh-huh.
Please just do another Matrix 1 and just make it good. Make it good.
Yeah. The Matrix 4, we've got Zack Snyder's Justice League, that was already going to be on streaming.
Uh-huh.
The Dune remake. The star-studded remake, actually. Basically every actor you can think of is in this movie. And I'm really hyped for it. I think it's going to be really cool. That's also going to be releasing on streaming. The Suicide Squad. So
which actually looks good.
It actually looks absolutely insane, and I can't wait. It's got 30. The cast is 30 people in this massive superhero or villain team, rather super villain team.
That's
crazy.
the point.
Yeah, looks crazy. Looks better than the first one anyway.
I mean, which reminds me of the new Suicide Squad game coming out in 2022, which
Yes.
I'm hyped for. Even it's like coming out in like over a year, but it's I'm still hyped for it.
2022 Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. I was just going to go on to that actually. New screenshots have been shown of in-game engine rendering of the characters of the main Suicide Squad. So that's Harley Quinn, Deadshot, Boomerang, and King Shark, and they look really good.
Yeah, you sent me them earlier. They look so cool.
They look so good. This is actually in-engine rendering as well. This is how they're going to look in the game. Whereas when we got that trailer, it was cinematic. So that's what they're going to look like in the cutscenes. And now we've seen what they're going to look like in the game. Wow.
Nice.
There's pretty much no
how do they look just as good? Maybe even better.
Exactly. There's pretty much no difference there. And I'm excited. It's set in the same universe as the Arkham games, so I'm hyped for that.
They could make references.
They could make references. We know it's set in Metropolis rather than Gotham. So Superman's going to play a big part in it.
Because the new isn't it Arkham Knights coming out the year before?
Gotham Knights.
Gotham Knights, Arkham Knights.
That is in a different universe though. That's its own thing, which I think is a little bit of a weird thing to do. But we'll see how it goes. Both games.
Which I'm also hyped for.
Yeah, both games look really good.
I never miss. Yeah, we bloody know. You never shut up about it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Captain Boomerang. Even like, as much as I hate Suicide Squad movie.
Yeah, he was.
Captain Boomerang was actually really funny.
Yeah.
I enjoyed. That's the only part I enjoyed. That's the only credit.
He's great. Yes, he's just great in the Flash comics.
And the actor was actually good.
Yeah,
the actor was good.
He was a good actor.
Why?
The thing is with the Suicide Squad movie, the cast wasn't even that bad. It was just the writing, I think.
Why? Jared Leto.
Okay.
Like you're a good actor, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Why would they butcher him with that kind of Joker?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like he could play a really good Joker, but
he has damage on his forehead. Why?
We're not getting into the Suicide Squad movie.
We'll do that another time.
We will. Yeah, we'll do that.
That'll be so funny.
I think that's pretty much it. It was a relatively sparse for film news, but there's been quite a bit of gaming news. Cyberpunk news, we're doing our weekly Cyberpunk roundup.
Has it been delayed again?
No. Actually, the preload timings have been released. So, I didn't get a look at all the times. I'm sure you can look them up. But in the UK, where we are, you will be able to download the game on December the 7th, and it will unlock on December the 10th. So, yeah, that's good because Cyberpunk is a 70 gigabyte game. So
not as big as Modern Warfare.
Not as big as Modern Warfare, but not a small game. So that's just another thing from CD Projekt. They're sort of letting everyone get it onto their system so they can just jump right in as soon as it unlocks.
That's really good.
Yeah. I can see why they're not unveiling the online mode at launch because I feel like they would just crash the service.
Yep.
So they're phasing that in early 2021.
Yeah. Which I don't mind because
Same with Watch Dogs Legion as well. The online's coming.
It's good because at least with Cyberpunk 2077, there's a lot of story which we've heard that is takes up a long time.
Yep.
So we'll have
hours gets you 60% through the story.
Yes, so I think that is plenty of time for us to get through the game enough for them to put in thing. I think we'll be occupied enough. I think that's fine. Yeah. So
I'm going to keep my ear to the ground on any multiplayer news because we don't really know much about that at this point. So we'll see.
Maybe, it could be like Rival. It could be like GTA.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's going to be sort of like a GTA Online.
Which would be cool as well because you could isn't it like you join a certain gang and you could and then you could you could converse with other people online in that gang, and then you could have gang wars as well.
I think it will be something events. Like that along those lines.
Yeah, which would be cool as well because it would
cool,
feel like real life because there are specific events like gang wars and turf wars. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not like the GTA games like goddamn Tron or.
Oh yeah, GTA.
Okay, no, the mini games are great.
Yeah.
We won't talk shit. GTA 5's great.
Yeah. Okay. Also in Cyberpunk news though, it sort of justifies this preloading, but it has been announced. It's been revealed by people who have gotten review copies of the game, so they've been given the game early. it's been announced that Cyberpunk is getting a 43 gigabyte patch.
What?
So
That's under half the. That's over half the game.
113 gig in total.
What's the patch for?
Apparently, we don't know for sure because obviously the game hasn't come out yet, so they can't publish patch notes. But apparently, it's all bug fixes.
Makes sense.
43 gig of bug fixes, though. You know, I realized that.
It's a big game,
Yeah,
so I'm
exactly.
surprised. I'm glad that they're doing it now sooner rather than later.
That the game is coming out at all.
Yeah, that's right.
Also in gaming news, we have some Persona 5 news. Persona 5 Scramble, the Phantom Strikers, which is the sort of Hyrule Warriors 3D beat-em-up spin-off of Persona 5, which is my favourite game ever. Launches in the West, February 2021. It's already out in Japan. It's been out in Japan for a few months now. It's on the Switch in Japan. And when it comes to the West, it will launch on Steam and PS4 as well as the Switch. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Sweet.
A lot of people were disappointed in this though because they did a Persona.
They just wanted Persona 5.
Yeah, a Persona 5 announcement was teased, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's going to be Persona 5 Royal for PC," but it wasn't. It was Persona 5 Strikers for the West, which is still good. You know, it's a good game from what I've seen of the Japanese version. It's a good game, so we'll see. Also in Persona news, next year, 2021 marks the 25th anniversary of Persona, the series.
Cool. What are they doing?
Well, Atlas has said we have something very, very special planned for the 25th anniversary. That came out this week, and we have no idea what it is. I think it's going to be the Royal Persona 5 Royal for PC because that's what everyone wants.
I've got something in mind they could do, which would please the fans greatly.
Oh, go on.
It's called the Persona Collection.
Oh, all
they have all of them.
I feel like
collection.
a remaster is needed for 1 and 2. Yeah, definitely.
They could possibly do that. While they do that, or they make a remaster and then put everything and then put it all in. But I don't know whether they want to put the original in, just as a homage.
From all we can speculate. I hope it isn't as underwhelming as the 35th anniversary of Mario. But I feel like Atlas won't do that. I feel like they will actually put something out which is good.
They just do like a skin overlay of Fortnite with just Persona characters. With that annoying Season 2 song that always played for the adverts.
Yep.
Fortnite.
Yep.
Ugh, I'm going to kill myself whenever that played.
Yep. We have some Fortnite news. Just one piece. You already know. I've already told you about this.
It's the name of the jungle. The jungle?
The jungle? The treasure?
It's the name of the
treasure.
Treasure.
It's a pirate show. Anyway, the newest skin or the newest collaboration with Fortnite obviously has been God of War. That was at the time of recording. The event is on today and it ends after today, which is Saturday. But the next one with an unforeseen release date will be Halo. The Master Chief is coming to Fortnite. You're going to get a skin of the Master Chief. You can also get a mini warthog as an emote. So it's like a traversal emote. So you can get in this little car and, ride around the map in it and stuff. You can get a glider, which I think is a pelican. And then also you're getting a red versus blue PvP mode, which will be a limited time mode. I'm pretty hyped for this. Images have come out of the Master Chief suit, and it just, it looks like Master Chief.
Is Infinite?
No, I think it's original. I think it's 4. But I'm not really interested in Halo. Halo 4 is the only one I've played in full, and it looks like that. So,
Because with Halo Infinite, they went off of the Halo 3 armor.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, similar.
I'm sure if you looked at the images, you could tell me, but I don't know.
Yeah.
This is a bit of a strange. I was pretty surprised when I heard this. Aardman Animations.
Oh yeah.
Creators of Wallace and Gromit and
Flushed Away.
Arthur Christmas, Pirates and an Adventure with Scientists.
They did Arthur Christmas.
Yep, It was a joint venture with Sony Animation. Flushed Away was also that.
Sven Nicolage.
Sven Nicolage. What a great movie. Anyway.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Anyway, Aardman Animation are partnering up with Bandai Namco Entertainment.
What?
To work on a new video game.
Oh
Claymation video game?
No. What?
Nothing else is known about this, apart from the
What
fact that it exists.
What? That's
Yeah.
crazy.
What a weird sort of out of the blue collaboration.
Maybe to help them with animations.
Yeah.
Because that could be interesting.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they are good at animating shit because,
Oh
you
yeah,
know.
totally. Yeah, so
But that's
we'll,
gonna be
we'll mark the
a Wallace and
years.
Gromit fighting game.
I love that. It's just an Aardman fighting game, just with all the characters in it.
Yes, the goddamn missing link.
There's
the
like Hugh
goddamn...
Jackman rat. just
Did
in there.
Hugh Jackman voice him?
Yeah, he's the
I
main
did
guy.
not know that. I did not know that.
Yeah, it's Hugh Jackman rat.
And I know Flushed Away. Like I can just
I
like
know
Monster
you can quote
House.
the whole movie, Dan.
Just like
100%.
Monster House, I can quote the entire movie.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's weird. We'll stay tuned to see what's going on. Obviously, Bandai is one of the biggest distributors of games in Japan and in the East, especially. They're also big in the West, but they're a giant in the East. They mainly do anime games like spin-offs, stuff like that. But yeah, it should be interesting. Also, in a weird partnership. But one that still that we already knew existed. Travis Scott and PS5.
Mm-hmm.
We already knew about this weird collaboration because Travis Scott has got like a clothing range now with PS5, and he got a PS5 console early and stuff like that, and he's in the adverts. Travis Scott is rumored to be designing a game for the PS5.
I'm sorry, what?
Before you jump to conclusions, it's not confirmed whether it's a Travis Scott game. Okay, I doubt it will be, but it's a game that Travis Scott is making. So it could be about anything. It doesn't have to be about Travis Scott, but he is making it for the PS5.
Is he gonna go down the same route as goddamn Soldier Boy?
No, because Soldier Boy made his own console. It's not quite that
No,
bad.
I know, but you know what I mean. They're
Yeah.
going into tech when they have no idea what they're doing.
The TS5. Just Travis Scott.
Travis Scott 5. Where's the 1 to 4 of Travis
He
Scott?
doesn't need it.
I am Travis Scott. You know what I usually get from McDonald's? Oh god.
Yep, so that's happening. No new info. Obviously, I will be following this very closely because I'm very interested to see what Travis Scott has come up with.
They made Travis Scott from Fortnite into a real thing.
They made the Mandalorian from Fortnite into a real.
Ah, I saw that. That skin looks good though.
Yeah, no, I have it equipped. Yeah, Fortnite's
You bought
good again
it.
now. Shut up.
You bought it.
Yeah. Well, he's tier 1 on the battle pass, so that sort of makes it better.
You bought the battle pass.
The skins look good.
It's a baby game.
It's good again. It's good again.
It's for 9-year-olds.
Shut up. Shut up. Just shut up.
I don't even want to speak to you anymore. Just end the episode here. Cut.
Well, I have some From Software news, so you might be
Oh,
interested in that.
Sorry.
Yeah, so shut up. Elden Ring. We talked a little bit about this last episode.
Any news?
Elden Ring is a collaboration between From Software, creators of Dark Souls games, and Demon Souls.
Just say Souls like gay.
And they're collaborating with George R.R. Martin, who is the writer of Game of Thrones, the books, to make Elden Ring, which we previously knew absolutely nothing about. Phil Spencer, head of Xbox, has said that he's played quite a lot of Elden Ring in private because it's coming out on the Series X. And a data miner, Lance McDonald, who has insider access to From Software, so he could be an employee or he could just, be a cool hacker man. He leaked a lot of details about the Demon Souls remake as well.
But it's already out.
No, but before it came out.
Oh.
So he's and they were all correct. So he's a reliable source. And he says he's seen Elden Ring, and he says it's ready to be shown. Like, it's finished enough.
Game Awards?
Maybe. He said it's finished enough that they could definitely put out a trailer. It's just finishing touches now.
Ooh, so they literally wanted to keep it that under wraps.
Yeah, and I thought we'd be lucky to see Elden Ring by the end of 2022, personally. But
that could be at 2021.
Yeah, exactly. If it's ready to be shown, and From Software are notoriously keep their cards close to their chest with their games. They don't show them until they're ready. I think Dark Souls 3 was a prime example of that. They waited so long since the announcement. I think it was like a year and a half since announcing Dark Souls 3. They actually showed us any bit of footage whatsoever until they were happy with it.
That was similar to Doom Eternal.
Yeah, and and if McDonald is saying that it's ready to be shown, it's pretty much done.
That's finally.
Yeah,
finally.
For better,
pretty much the most hyped game.
Yeah, because we know nothing about it except we have literally one cinematic teaser that's like 30 seconds long, and it shows us nothing about the actual game.
Please just prank us and show us you're finally awake. And it's like fully remade in like PS5 graphics.
Speaking of remakes, it's not really a remake, it's more of an adaptation. Actor of the Star Wars sequel trilogy, Oscar Isaacs, who plays Poe Dameron in the Star Wars sequel trilogy.
Who's that?
He's the X-Wing pilot guy. Yeah, he's like adventurous. He's with Finn in The Force Awakens. Yeah. He's a good actor. I've seen him in other things. He's pretty good.
I think I remember now, actually. Yeah. I think I remember. I think.
He's been.
What about
him? He was Apocalypse in X-Men Apocalypse. If anyone watched that movie.
No.
No.
Oh my God! Shut up.
He has been cast as Solid Snake in the upcoming Metal Gear Solid movie.
There's a movie?
I didn't know about it either.
Oh my God.
But the movie apparently is confirmed and is coming out in 2021 to 2022.
Please don't ruin it.
And
Please.
Oscar Isaacs is going to be Solid Snake.
Oscar Isaacs?
He looks alright. I can see him in the part. If he just grew a beard, I could see him in the part.
Oscar Isaacs.
I don't think he'll fit with the personality though, because he usually plays like this jolly sort of carefree guy, and Snake is anything but really.
Yeah. Infinite ammo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
I guess happening. I could kind of see it, but I think,
yeah,
maybe
we'll see.
I don't know.
Well, I think Metal Gear Solid is one of the few games you could actually make a movie out of as well.
Oh yeah, I mean the twist. Ooh, is it off of the original? Do we know if it's off like the
it's number one?
Oh, I cannot wait to see what they do with Grey Fox. He's gonna. Hopefully, let's hope they don't butcher it because I want to. Give us Metal Gear Solid 1 remade. Come on, do it, you pussies.
We need it.
Do it.
It was a toss up between that and Demon Souls, and we got Demon Souls. Now all we need is a Metal Gear Solid remake, and it will be complete.
I think he's just a bit too. His head's too wide. He needs to be skinnier.
Well, we're not insulting anyone's appearance here, Dan.
I'm just messing.
We'll see how it goes when the movie comes out. That's all we can say for now. But that's what's happening anyway. Also,
I mean, who knows?
Pardon?
That's what I said. Just who knows? It could be great for all we know.
Could be great. I hope it is. Also, in video game movie news.
Oh no!
The new Mortal Kombat movie.
No!
Will be available on HBO Max the same time it hits cinemas.
There's a new Mortal Kombat movie.
It will be releasing around March to May 2021.
What? Is there been no news?
Yeah, I knew nothing about this, and apparently it's so close to release. and it's coming out on streaming.
What?
Yeah, we know. We've talked a few episodes back about Mortal
no,
Kombat.
don't.
It's either Annihilation or Armageddon. I can't even remember the correct.
I think it's Annihilation.
Annihilation. Oh my god, it's
No.
Let's hope it's better. The story of Mortal Kombat 11 was actually pretty good. It was pretty okay.
And there's DLC.
Yeah, and the DLC. If they made an Aftermath movie, I would like that.
Just please do something good. Don't if they're gonna go off canon and do their own story, that's fine. Just make it good.
Yeah.
Please. I don't want to go through another Annihilation. Please. And
I know that movie broke you more than me because you actually care about the lore.
Yeah, and that's why.
Yeah.
Where did Scorpion and Sub-Zero go? They could have helped.
Yeah.
Where did they go?
Let's not. Watch the Weeb Couch episode 2 if you want to listen to us talk about Mortal Kombat's Annihilation.
You'll hear me scream about it for like 40 minutes straight. It won't be worth it. You'll funny. Just watch it and you'll feel the exact same pain that I did.
Yeah, pretty much. And I think that does it for the news section for this week. So that does it for the episode for this week. Thanks so much for watching if you got this far. If you're skipping through the timestamps, thanks for skipping through. It really doesn't matter to us either way.
Just listen to what you want. We don't care.
Yeah.
Do it.
And that's pretty much all I have to say. Stay tuned next week though. Next week for the Weeb Couch episode 5. Not only, hopefully, if everything goes well, we will have a new cover art. Hopefully.
I'll try.
Yeah.
I can promise you I'll try.
Well, we have our resident artist here, Dan, who has done the current cover art. Absolutely amazing. His art Instagram is, as always, in the description. Please follow him.
Still haven't posted, but
He'll post something someday at some point. It pays to be prepared. Follow him now, so you don't have to in the future. Pays to be prepared,
Do what you said.
Yeah, and follow us on Instagram. The podcast Instagram is in the description. DM us, leave a comment, whatever. If you have anything in particular you want us to cover, leave a comment on our YouTube. Email us. Our email's in the description. Do all that good stuff. Like and subscribe. If you listen to us on Spotify, follow the podcast. And stay tuned for next week also, because it is the 5th episode. We've decided that every 5 episodes we'll do a special topic. We won't just go through the week. We'll focus on one thing. So again, get in touch if you have a suggestion for our 10th episode, because we've already decided the topic for episode 5. If you have a topic you want us to cover for episode 10, get in touch. We're open to any and all suggestions. It doesn't really matter to us.
Unless they're cringe.
And
if so, then please leave.
We won't do a Fortnite episode before anyone asks.
I think I would die.
Yeah.
Worse than Annihilation, which is saying something.
We could do a video game movie episode, but we would probably be dead by the end of it. So
but the Mario movie.
Oh my god, I've actually seen it as well. So for episode 5 of the Weeb Couch, we'll be focusing on a very, very well-known anime and manga series. Known probably better for the memes than it is for the actual story. That series is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Now, if you've never heard of JoJo's before, we'll try and make it accessible. We'll give you the overview. It's a good series. It's very good. Highly recommend. We'll try and give you the overview. We'll talk about each series in each part. And if you have watched JoJo before, then it's just come for the memes. We'll be memeing a lot in episode 5, I think. We'll be doing a lot of memeing. We'll be talking about the anime, the manga, the games, and the movies. The movie. There's one movie. So it's sort of the same format, but we're focusing on JoJo's episode 5. I'm really hyped for it.
Sorry for anyone who doesn't give a shit, but we're doing it anyway.
We're doing it anyway. If you want us to cover your topic, DM us.
Shout at us, scream at us.
Yeah.
Just Tell us to go die in a hole. Do something to let us know.
You don't ask, you don't get. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly.
So, tune in next week for a special episode. And, yeah. I've said all the spiel about like and subscribe. You already know that. Unless you have anything else to say, Dan.
Boomer.
Perfect. And with that note, we will end off this episode of the Weeb Couch. Have a great week, guys. See you next Sunday. Thank you for listening.
Bye.